All right, hey guys. I hope that everybody is having a fantastic day, a fantastic weekend. It is that time again. I saw a comment on the last video I did. I don't remember the name of the viewer who left the comment, so apologies, but you missed the stream. I'm sorry, but it's another opportunity. If you'd like to ask a question about your specific twin flame union, your journey, your twin, maybe you're in separation and want to know what's going on, let me kind of turn this music off. I am here to answer any questions that you might have. Any questions you have, just type the question in the chat box, and I will essentially get answers from the cards that I have in front of me. Aha, Tata 1111. I believe we conversed doing another video at another time. I hope you're doing well. How have you been? Are you in the midst of separation now with your twin? Are you seeing any terms of or any forms of communication? Ah, yay, yes, last time. Are you having 3D connection or 5D connection with your twin at the moment, Tata? Oh, my coffee is cold. Ugh. Okay. So if you have any questions now you want me to answer, feel free to ask them in the chat box, and I will refer to the cards and get an answer for you. While I'm waiting to see only 5D connection, have you experienced it getting stronger, maybe more frequent? If maybe you have communication or connection in the dream state, are you noticing an increase in dreams? Are you noticing an increase in maybe feelings? You might even be experiencing what might seem like emotions out of nowhere, especially, yes. Yeah, that seems to be the common theme. Most people, I would say, weren't necessarily happy with the fact that I was talking about connection is here. For a lot of people, that connection is not going to be 3D connection. For some people, that may be the case. He came in my dream wanting to get married ASAP. He came quickly. Do you remember any details other than that from the dream? Anything that stood out? Your surroundings? Any specific colors? Did he verbally communicate that to you, or was that like a feeling that you had during the course of the dream? I'm confused because he's with a karmic and it doesn't add up. And, you know, things are not what they appear, Tata. A lot of times they're with the karmic, not because they don't want to be with you, but because it's easier. Not necessarily that it's a struggle to be with you. For your twin to be with you, he has to confront a lot of stuff about himself. You're a mirror to him. And in a lot of ways, he either might not be willing or ready to confront those things, to address those things, to be the person he needs to be with you. His karmic, do they have a child together, or are they just in a relationship? Can you give me a little bit more details about the karmic situation? And I take it you're not with a karmic at the moment, am I correct? We're near the sea, and yes, he verbally communicated. So, okay, that's definitely a good thing. Sometimes you can have, especially in the dream state, you can have where things aren't necessarily communicated, but more so felt. It's neither good nor bad in either circumstance. But I was curious. I'm nosy. So, let's see, near the sea. The water of the sea, was the water rough? Was it glassy? Were there a lot of waves? A lot of things that you either may not know to pay attention to, or you may think are trivial or actually important. Just in a relationship since December 2007, I'm not in a relationship for a couple of years. That's exactly like I said. Most likely you're not with the karmic. A running theme with a lot of twins is the karmic that is not, the twin that is not running tends to be in a state where they're not even interested in a karmic of their own. Calm and blue. So that's a good sign. So that actually foretells essentially calm waters, a calm situation ahead. As long as the water in that state wasn't choppy or dirty looking and murky, the fact that it was calm and blue is a very good sign for you. A little wavy probably in this state doesn't refer to the current expectations of your future with your twin, but more so the current state. So most likely what's going on is, as you've already alluded to, it's not, things just aren't adding up for you. You might be feeling a little bit emotional about the situation. And here's something that you have to remember. Because your twin is a reflection, they're a mirror of you, cut both yourself and them a little bit of slack. Because while your emotions are most likely not necessarily all over the place in a turbulent state, but you may feel conflicted at times. At sometimes you're like, okay, let's hurry up and get together. At other times you're probably like, I'm done with it, I'm over it. Keep in mind that most likely there's mirroring going on his part as well. Okay. You also see the karmic's face sometimes randomly. That's actually a really good thing. I try to ask my angels to remove her. I don't know why she does that. Let me tell you why she does that. She does that, Tata, because she is aware of you. Whether or not she's physically aware of who you are and what your situation was with your twin, she may feel the energy that there is between you and your twin, even if she doesn't literally know who you are. Okay. A lot of times, these karmics, yes, I'm so serious. I recently had, well, I don't want to speak about myself too much, but we're at a point where a lot of karmics know about the other twin. Even if they don't know your name, they don't know about your past relationship, they know that the energy that they either once shared, or even if they've never shared it, that they really want to share with the person who was your twin, they know that that energy is going elsewhere. And unfortunately, I hate to say this isn't the case with all karmics. Some karmics are literally dark forces, and I'm not saying this just because you see her in your dream, but some karmics are dark forces to the point where they literally, spiritually and on another level, are doing everything they can to keep the connection from happening. Not a few videos back, but I did a video, oh gosh, I know it was definitely more than a month ago, where I talked about karmics essentially, especially if they have children, using children to keep the union from coming together. I thought it was because of my fear of losing him to a karmic, so I was scared to manifest that. No. I'm working on that fear. Okay, yeah, dark karmics are for real, for sure. Yeah, no. And please keep in mind, Tata, I'm not saying that just because she appears in your dreams that she is a dark karmic. There are various ways you can kind of tell that she is a dark karmic. When you see her in the actual dream, do you have any fears regarding her? Do you fear that she will either harm you or your twin in the dream? If that's not really the only way to tell, but if that's not really there, then it's not most likely the case that she is of a dark nature or a dark entity. Some people can kind of like control what happens to them in the 5D. Like they can literally say, I want to connect with my twin, or I want to go visit this person on this plane. Not all people are like that. So again, you can't say that she's like targeting you to come and appear in your dreams. Most likely it's just happening. And here's what you have to consider too. Most likely the reason she's appearing in dreams for you is because of the fact that as part of your contract with your twin, you agreed for her to help your union in a way that you can't. This is where you have to try and be open to the idea that the karmic is actually a help and not a hindrance. The reality of the situation, Tata, is that your karmic, your twin's karmic is able to teach your twin stuff that he can't necessarily learn from you. Maybe when you're with your twin, you are too nice, too giving, too understanding, and maybe he needs to learn a lesson that he'll only learn by dealing with someone who won't be as understanding as you. Maybe, especially if there are children, I don't know in the case of your twin, but if there are children involved, I don't feel that there are, but yes, I'm good, and that's a good thing, and that actually speaks to your spiritual growth and your spiritual understanding. Not to put down the people who don't understand that the karmic is actually there to help. Yeah, see? But, it speaks a lot about you. How long have you been on this path with your twin? Has it been, years, a few months? I believe your separation has only been a few months, correct? I want to hear the situation and see if what I'm feeling 10 years. And I notice that you are consistently someone who, as you see, I don't have many people. I'm still really new, so I don't have a lot of people that come in and watch my videos. But I do notice you are someone I can consistently count on. What I just realized is that we most likely are in the same soul family. And I in this moment, feel a sense of sorrow coming over me, almost like I want to cry. But it's not like a bad thing, but like a sense of happiness almost, and I want to cry for that. Like you, I have been going through this with my twin for quite some time, and it's not just a matter of this is a 10 years thing that makes me think that we're soul family. I feel a connection. I will ask, do you have children? I don't believe you do outside of your twin. A lot of sorrow and happiness. I'm going to turn off I have it on slow mode for the messages. I'll make sure to turn that off on another video. I think I initially turned slow mode on in the chat because I didn't want to have I didn't want to have a lot of messages, like spammy messages, but I do think that I'll need to turn it off. So you don't have children. I'm also feeling that as it relates to family, is there either drama around your family or you're not really close with family? Let me see what you have to say here. I feel, let's see about children for myself. So let me ask as well. Yes, drama on my dad's side. Do you have a brother? I don't know you, but I'm being led to ask about a brother or like a brotherly figure, someone that I see within my parents' connection. But I'm feeling something with like a brother or a brotherly figure. A lot of drama. I don't know if I have a twin sister, but no brother or someone that you consider to be like a brotherly figure. I'm kind of, that's just out of nowhere, just kind of, I'm hearing ask about a brother. Okay. In the 7 years of your connection, of separation, has there been absolutely no communication during this time? Not so much I've been closer with my dad. Are you close to the point where maybe you see him more as a brother than as a fatherly figure? I'm hearing something with brother. But what's kind of also weird is that I'm not hearing anything yet behind brother. And it's probably because we haven't yet landed on who that person is and where we need to go with that. He came back after 3 years. Your father? So that said, have you been having more of a friend type relationship with your father, more so than him actually being like a fatherly figure, almost to the point where you might consider no, my twin. I don't know. So, sometimes I can have to where, I don't know where that's supposed to go, but we can come back to that at another time. This separation though, I just want to know, have you pretty much been at a point where you haven't talked this entire time? Yes, friend type. Okay, that's exactly where I was feeling that. Is he? You don't have to answer this if you don't want this, but I'm seeing something. Either with drugs or prescription medication or some sort of like dependency on something regarding like a lot of hurt and trauma and drama with him specifically. Is this making sense what I'm saying, or is that not relevant? Let's see, a friend type with my dad. And I'm feeling like it's this person. It's not someone that knows them. Again, maybe with my dad, yes. If that doesn't make sense, maybe it's something, and it may not be drugs, but maybe it's like drugs. Is he, this is not making sense for you. With your dad, yes. Okay. Well, it might make sense at another point. I don't know. But can you answer for me with your separation? He got off anxiety, depression meds a while ago. He's going through an awakening as well. Maybe that's what I'm referring to. Since that point, has there been a lot of drama? Did it start around that time? Because, again, I know when you say drugs, your first thing that might be, my dad's not on crack. No, again, it may be these anxiety and depression meds. So is this when, so you're saying he started the awakening? Did it start around the time that he stopped did it start around the time that he stopped the medication? I feel guided to tell you in this moment that yes, he's your father, but you spiritually are in a position where you need to guide him through this time. You're the child in this physical incarnation, but your dad is someone that I don't know exactly in what capacity you knew him in another life, but in some way your souls were connected. I don't feel it was a romantic type of way. Maybe in another life you were his parent. But you need to guide him spiritually. Spiritually, there's some, whether it's information or some understanding that you have that he will only get through you. And this is actually one of the reasons in this life you guys are in the same, you guys are incarnated in the matter you are guiding him. He asked me a lot of questions. I even opened and forgot my twin flame. He's not necessarily understanding, but he's receptive of. I don't want to say this. I don't feel that the twin flame. I think it's great that you are kind of explaining the twin flame thing of sorts to him, but I don't feel that that's necessarily the guidance that you are supposed to be giving him. There's, like I said, spiritually, his soul is younger than yours. And he recognizes that, and I think that's why you have the connection with him that you do, and it's not like any other connection with anyone else in your family. Yeah, I know. Awesome. I love when things make sense. When at first we're like, oh, I don't have a brother. My dad's not on drugs. No, see, I love when things make sense. All right. So now tell me, Tata, I want to hear about your connection, the separation. So, okay, he came back after 3 years. So that was 4 years ago or 3 years ago that your twin came back into the situation. And that communication, was it in person? Was it just online? Let me know, let me know, let me know. I'm going to see if I can kind of get a feel for your twin here. Give me just a second. Okay, let me tap in. Your twin, is he... I'm feeling like while he's not exactly the party type, but you know, based on what you know about him, that he's not necessarily as committed as his karmic probably thinks. I'm aware. Are you aware? 2007, but only saw him in 2011. I traveled to his country, stays with him a few weeks, and then separation began. You guys are of different ethnicities or the same background? I came back in 2015. Your twin, he's not aware of the twin flame concept. He doesn't know the jargon and vernacular that we do behind what's actually going on. But trust and believe me that he does know, he knows who you are, even if he can't put a label on it. He is Italian, I'm Canadian with Italian parents. Can I tell you something? My twin flame is 100% Sicilian. Is that not a common commonality we share? That's awesome. Canadian with Italian. I am not Italian. Okay. Yeah, but I feel like he is not aware, but he told me that he knows I'm his better half, and that's what he said. Yeah, they do know. They know in their heart. I take it he is late 20s, early 30s. Please let me know if I am on the money. Or maybe even his mid-20s. Nice. Am I right? He's somewhere between 25 and 34. Awesome. Okay. So, again, he knows who you are. He has a lot of fear. I'm hearing his parents. I don't know if his parents are still alive, but is there something going on with his parents that you're aware of? Maybe you're 27. Okay, I'm 29. No, and let me kind of say something as a side note. I keep comparing the two of us, and I don't keep comparing us, and I didn't make the statement that I believe are in the same family because of a lot of similarities we share. I think those are mere, I don't want to say coincidences, but I think they are just almost coincidences, even though I don't really believe in coincidences. But I feel that we are of the same soul family, literally because of the feeling that I got, and the similarities that I noticed between the two of us don't hurt at all. Okay. You know, and it's weird because one of the things that I found out about when it comes to this twin flame journey that I didn't know until fairly recently is that there's something called different waves. Some people who are twin flames are in the very beginning stages. They're first finding out that they even have a twin. Some people are just meeting their twin and don't know what this stuff even is. And I think when you reference kind of soul families, you have members of your soul family that aren't necessarily twin flames, but just say they might be soulmates and in your life for a different reason. But I literally feel as if that we may be in the same, or we are rather of the same maybe wave. People who were kind of experiencing similar things at this specific point within our twin flame union. Where is your energy at in terms of how you feel about your twin flame? You mentioned happiness and kind of sorrow. And I'm pretty sure that within the last month, you've kind of been a little bit all over the place. You've been kind of going back and forth anyways. Have you recently just been at a point of surrender? I know is where we should be, but it's not necessarily a state of surrender. I feel like you might be in a place where you're like, I just want to be happy. Am I correct? Whether it's with my twin, even though that would be preferable, you just are at a point where you just want happiness. Am I correct? Yes. And I know that because we are in the same wavelength, my dear. Like I said, we have something good going for us, which is the fact that we are at a point of connection. For other people, their connection is literally their twin is back in their lives. And what he is doing, I'm tired, it's too long. And that's exactly what I said. I met my twin in January of 2007. The last time I physically saw him was November either 23rd, 24th of, last time I physically saw him was 2009. Last time we talked that I know it was him was last year, the beginning of the year, and then he pulled off running again. So I know exactly what you mean about this is too much time. I personally have come into the space of, I want to be a mother. I want kids. I don't want to just sit and feel like I'm just sitting and waiting. But the good thing is we're not waiting, I'm very certain that if you look at yourself a year ago, a month ago, you are not the same person. Grown, despite the fact that on a lot of levels you are grown beyond means you might be aware, compared to those around you, as we just talked about with your father. It's not anything negative about him. It's just your soul, your spirit is more advanced than others. They do say that when you're in a position where you find your twin flame and when reunion actually happens, it's because you're in your last incarnation. I can't say if that's, what's going on with us, but it would make sense that, spiritually you're more advanced. And it speaks a little bit to the fact that we have to be a little bit compassionate, both with our twins and with ourselves. Yes, we're more spiritually advanced. It's not because we're better. It's just because, for whatever reason, the contract that was set out between us and our other half was that we would be at the level of advancement that we are. We just have to allow them to come into their own place of knowing. I'm pretty sure, like myself, if you look back at points at which you were with your twin in the past, either physically or when you had conversations, if you look back and you look at those conversations, you will notice certain points at which they demonstrated a certain level of awareness, even if they subconsciously or consciously have no idea, or they consciously weren't aware of the connection that there was between the two of you. It's because there's always that knowing, and there will always be that knowing, okay? As far as, let me see if I can get a feel for what I feel for you in this upcoming this upcoming future. I do feel, as you alluded to, that your 5D connection will continue to increase. I don't think that you are in the position in this moment because of anything that you're doing or anything bad. I don't think that physical union is something that's going to be happening relatively just like tomorrow, or no, I don't feel that at all. I don't feel that it will be long, but I don't feel that it will be anything that's like relatively soon. Unfortunately, I'm not feeling any specific measure of time. I don't always feel measures of time. Okay, I don't know what happened. I'm getting some interference here, and it's not even like the weather, because the weather here is actually pretty like gorgeous today. I'm seeing that the stream health, it says video output was low, so I don't know what's going on. But you know what? I did have a dream. It was so weird. I had a dream 2 nights ago where I essentially was communicating, and there were like literal demons trying to stop the communication. But anywho, go ahead and ask your question. I'm showing that the stream health is pretty good before we get attacked again. We will wait for you to type your question, and I will gladly answer. This must be a really long question. So I'm just waiting for you to get your question posted, Tata, so I can go ahead and answer it for you. Just wanted to know, like, does he want to be with his karmic? It's confusing to see how he switched so fast. Yes, he knows who I am and then find someone else. Like I was saying before, and via this connection I've been having with you essentially since we've been conversing, regarding, let me get into a position. When I tap into what I feel regarding your twin flame and the karmic that he is with, like I said, in a lot of ways, I don't know if you know too much about her, but she in a lot of ways is your polar opposite. You may not know, in certain things you may know. You may know that, physically she may look a little bit different to you, or she has certain habits that are different than yours, because she is easier for him, okay? Exactly. That's exactly what I felt. See, yet again, you're getting to know I am always right. Well, not always. I would love to think that, though. But that was my ego. So, okay, he ran to her because she is easier for him, not because you are some hard person to be with, not because it is difficult because of you. It's difficult because he is not, unfortunately, willing to do the work on himself. There's some good and bad here, and let me explain this to you. He is not in a position where he is not able, but he's not willing to do the work that he needs to finish doing. He has done a certain amount of work, but not all of the work that needs to be done to be with you. Hence the reason I said that I don't feel that union is like right there for you. But what you need to kind of detach from is this idea that he needs to leave her to be with you. Because I feel like what is going to happen, what I'm feeling is that because it's been so lengthy, he's going to want to test, he's going to want to test out you and where you are before he officially reconnects with you. He is not sure if you are the same. Not that he wants you to be the exact same, but he is no no fool to the fact that people change, especially over this amount of time. He doesn't know if you two will still be compatible. He doesn't know if you will even still be interested. He does know that you were not with anybody else, because whether or not you're aware, he has been keeping tabs on you. I feel like you don't know this, but he has been. I'm feeling social media, paying attention to social media. That's why I'm really hoping, like I said, I already knew that you didn't have a karmic. I felt that, but I really hope that you don't have anything that might be perceived as you even having interest in someone else. I kind of am feeling jealousy, not to the point of absurdity. You don't have social media but YouTube. On your YouTube, do you have anything posted? Do you have a blog? Social media isn't, just like Facebook and Twitter, but maybe you have a blog that he might be aware of. I haven't looked at your YouTube, but does he have, or do you have any videos? If you do, whatever you have, make sure it is not something that he might perceive as, hey, she might have somebody else, okay? In terms of divine intervention, quite frankly, I'm not really, I'm not really feeling divine intervention in the way that you might be thinking about divine intervention. I can tell you for sure you have never left his mind, even though, again, it may look as if he's clearly moved on with somebody else. He might even be having this facade of utter happiness with somebody else. But that is not the case, okay? He is there because it is comfortable. He is there because it doesn't require him to do any work. He is there because it doesn't require him to face himself. It doesn't require him to deal with, things that he has done to not just you, but other people in his past. He doesn't want to have to deal with that. Not that he can't, he just doesn't want to. And the unfortunate thing is that in this incarnation, we all have free will. But let me tell you kind of the thing that you don't want to do. You don't want to assume that he's not working on himself, because what I'm feeling will happen for you is that things will literally change overnight. Okay? What I see happening is I see him making contact, maybe text message or something where it requires you to read something. Text message, email, something of the sort. I don't think it will be a phone call. He'll make contact, inquire and kind of see what's been going on with you. But I do think he still at that moment will still be with his comic. Again, because he doesn't want to. I'm facing myself, so what does that mean? I'm facing myself. I'll be with someone else, so my heart is with him. It doesn't make sense. All twins are meant to be together. I agree. Let me finish making this point and telling you what will happen before I address that. So he is going to reach out, but he will still be with his karmic. But what I am feeling will happen, Tata, is the second he sees that open door, he is going to walk through it. And he is going to walk through it fast, to the point where if you are not happy and whole within yourself, then you might miss an opportunity that, I hate to say it, if you don't allow it to happen in that moment, might take another few years to come around again. Okay, not trying to scare you, but it's not going to be something that you don't notice is happening. You will notice it. Keep in mind, because I'm telling you what will happen is he is going to reach out to you either by text, email, something that requires you to read it. And you literally are only going to communicate. You're going to exchange some messages back and forth. Once he sees that door is open, hey, I've confirmed she's not with somebody else. She's friendly to me. She's not coming off as of angry, vindictive, hateful, or resentful because I just left her high and dry. He's going to turn right back around and come right back through that door. Consider this. I just read that message. Consider the fact that might be hindering. While that is the sane and responsible and ladylike thing to do, to say to a guy, hey, step back. I don't want you messaging me while you're with somebody else. I'm not that type of woman over here. At the same time, you do have to recognize that, I hate to break it to you, he may have been in a position last year to reach out to you, but he heard you say, don't message me while you're with someone else. Do you see what I'm saying? And that might be why I'm feeling like he is going to transition very fast from making contact to leave. For him, what it's going to look like for him is he's going to be with the karmic, make contact. He's not going to be single in between his karmic and you. He's literally going to go right from a karmic to you, okay? That kind of sounds like a good thing, but you will have to make sure you really play it safe when you're back in union. But what will he tell me? He's happy with someone. He's not happy with her, okay? He's happy with the fact that he does not have to do the work. He's happy with the fact that she doesn't require him to be a better man like you do, okay? She doesn't require the same him to be brought to the table that you do. And it's not that he's a bad person. I don't feel anything like that coming from him. I don't feel anything particularly. And it's not like, he's with her robbing banks. No, I don't feel that at all. It's just that he can just be with her regardless of whoever and whatever he decides to be that day. And it's not saying that you're a difficult person. He just knows. They say that the eyes are the window to the soul. Even if I don't know what it's been between the two of you to where, you've told him what your expectations are of him. I don't feel that. It's more so what I feel with your twin is that he can tell by looking in your eyes. He knows that you are the one for him. He knows who you are. And because he knows who you are, he knows what you deserve. And he knows he's not quite that man yet. And because of that, he's afraid that if he brings you the man who he is at this very moment, you will recognize that you don't deserve it. And you will decide to walk away. So it's easier for him to say, let me keep her at bay. Let me keep her away until I become the man I know she needs. So that way she doesn't leave me. It's almost kind of like that thing where people do, let me break up with them before they break up with me, even though they don't want to break up with you. No, it's just because they're afraid of that kind of rejection. Okay. How are you suggesting that I approach the situation? Like I tell anybody, when you're in separation, the only thing you can really do is work on yourself. And yes, I have said several times, I will stick by and continue to say that you are the more advanced. I don't even want to say advanced. That sounds so condescending to your twin. You are the more spiritually aware twin in your union. But that does not mean that you don't need to do any work, okay? You will always have to do work. Here's the thing to remember. Even when you become in union with your twin, you will have to do work. So that's what you do. You do your work. I can tell you right now, you don't feel like you want to engage with the karmic. Some people are saying that you should engage with karmic. Some say that you shouldn't. I'm not going to tell you either way. But I do think that you just need to do whatever your spirit is leading you to do. But do it in a way that makes you a whole being. Do it in a way that makes you a healthy being. If your soul was telling you to go on, I know this isn't the case, but if your soul says, girl, go on a crack binge and get you some, I don't know, drink a bottle of vodka and do some, no, don't do that. But whatever else your soul leads you to do, your soul may lead you to, because get this, let me kind of say on the side note, I knew you didn't have children. I don't know if this is the case, but this is just a hypothetical. Your soul may lead you to connect with a soulmate and have a child with that soulmate. Not because it's meant for you to stay with that soulmate, but because you needed to bring that soul to this field, to the matrix, so to say. So whatever you feel, go ahead and do it. For you, it may mean just dating karmics. It may even mean marrying a karmic. But whatever you do, don't also go out there and be with someone just kind of out of retaliation to your twin for what you feel they're doing to you. That will never go well. allow the communication while he's with her? Yes, because I just told you that's what's going to happen in your situation. But keep in mind that when he makes that communication with you, it will come through a form where he will communicate in a way that you have to read it. It's going to be either a text message or email. It won't be long, literally a few days, a few weeks, whatever, not even a few weeks, a few days, maybe a week, where that messaging is going back and forth. Then he will abruptly make the change from his karmic to you. There will be no time in between them and you that he is single, which in my mind isn't the healthiest thing to do, but I feel that that's what he's going to decide. And hope he leaves her. Don't hope that he leaves her, because that kind of, while it's not the same as saying I hope she dies or I hope, that's not the same, but it is still kind of ill will. When, remember, as we started in the beginning by saying that whether or not, well, actually you do realize this because you acknowledge this. The karmic is there to help. She's helping in a way that that you can't, for whatever reason. You don't know what lessons he is learning with her. And if he is learning lessons and you're sending the energy and the vibes that, I don't want him to be a whole man that he needs to be for me, and he comes back, don't be surprised when you find yourself in discord or not in physical union, and you go right back to the runner chaser phase. Let things play out. That was actually something that when I look back at when I was in union with my twin, that was a frequent thing that he would say to me, just let it flow. And in a lot of ways, as I alluded to earlier, if you look, I'm sure, at certain things your twin said in the past, they actually have a lot of relevance on a bigger scale for you, okay? I'm feeling a child with my twin. We both felt we're going to have a boy. Do you have any dreams of any babies? Especially maybe recurring. When do you think he will communicate? Let me see if I can feel that. While I'm looking to see if I can feel that, please let me know if you have any dreams of any babies. I don't quite know. If you do, I'll tell you what that might mean. As I told you earlier about connection in the 3D with your twin, a boy, I don't feel like it's going to be soon. And when I say soon, I mean like tomorrow, next week, 2 weeks. Sometimes I will get feelings of kind of time frames at this moment. I'm not really feeling a time frame. I don't feel it will be long, but I know certainly that it won't be soon. Sometimes I'll tell you why this happens. It happens because there's something that it's hinging upon. Something that I most likely am not aware of. Maybe there's something going on between him and his karmic that will determine how soon this actually happens. I don't feel anything, and the last thing I want to do is just throw something out there when I genuinely don't feel it. So I can tell you I definitely don't feel it soon, but I also don't feel it's going to be a long time. I can't even say a few months. Maybe we can revisit, because remember, I'll be doing these types of videos pretty frequently. Maybe you can ask in another video and I might feel something, but at this time I don't feel anything. But kind of retracting and kind of going back to the statement of this boy, I feel like this boy, especially if you've had a dream multiple times of a boy, even if you can't see the baby, but you might feel like you know what the sex is, or you may see the baby, or you're not sure if it's the same baby in recurring dreams. If you're having a dream of a baby and it's happening pretty frequently, that may be your future child with your twin. It may also be a future child with a soulmate if that's route you're going. I can't tell you who that child is going to be with, but most likely that's a future child of yours that is already connected to you. So most likely it's one of your future children, but I can't say with certainty if that's a child with your twin or not. Yeah, I just really feel guided to tell you, though, and I really hope you're taking heed, Tata, that I know with certainty, no way a soulmate. I'm doing my work to be with my true love. I'm not waiting. And that's exactly how I feel. I'm telling you, a lot of people in our wavelength, really feel this this feeling of I just don't want a karmic. And keep in mind how I told you, your twin is a mirror. So even if your twin is with a karmic, it's not that they necessarily want them more than they want you. In your case specifically, and I can't reiterate this enough, it's because she is easier than you. He does not have to be his authentic best self with her, that he has to be with you, that he knows you deserve when he looks into your eyes. He looks into his eyes and he doesn't see that connection. He doesn't see that she deserves that same white knight and white shining armor, or oh God, what is that? The knight in shining armor that you deserve. Not saying that she deserves some, anything, off the side of the road, but he recognizes you, okay? I will say that I do think that I feel like you don't do enough for yourself. I'm really feeling like you don't pamper yourself enough. You don't take enough time for you. You're really focused on other people in terms of you're more prone to make sure other people are all right more so than yourself. Am I correct, Tata? If that is the case, I'm really being led to tell you that as part of your journey back to connection, you have to learn to put yourself first. I'm really feeling like you don't put yourself first. And you have to keep in mind too that not all of the lessons that we're supposed to be learning in this moment at this time with our twins is, yes, right now I lost my job, I have no money, so I can't. But you know what though? Pampering yourself isn't always about money. Pampering yourself, maybe that means going out for a walk. Pampering yourself could mean, you know what? Yeah, I love to give great advice to people. Yeah, you know what? That actually is a form of keeping it simple. Keeping it simple is a form of pampering. Life is so complex in and of itself. Sometimes saying, just even, I'm hearing as well that, like, are you that friend that either people like to come to and talk about their problems, or they like to ask you for advice? You might need to kind of, not in a mean way, but you need to kind of retract yourself in your energy, okay? You're giving away too much of your energy in a lot of ways, and you have to, you've got to pull it back. That's the only way. And don't think that, again, it's not about I have to have money to go get my nails done, go get a massage. Simple things in life, a walk, letting go of other people's problems, letting go of your own problems. I don't know if you're creative in any way. I kind of don't really feel that more towards you, but if you are, and even if you're not, take up maybe drawing or writing poetry, read some books, really take some time for you, because I'm really, really hearing that, okay? Do you have any other questions before I end it for today? I will say, while I'm seeing if you have any other questions, I paint and draw till you do. Okay. And that's weird, because I really didn't feel like you were too much of the creative type, but that's a good thing. Creativity can definitely be a point of relaxation. But do that for yourself, because I'm hearing that that's going to be one of the ways that you've got to get back to your twin. Literally, your twin is trying to get back to you, but at the same time, you need to get back to you. You've got to get back to being that happy person that you were, not saying you have to be happy-go-lucky. I don't feel like you've ever really been happy-go-lucky, but you were at a point where you were happier than you are now. You have to get back to that, and you can only do that by putting yourself first, pampering yourself, and taking care of you, because no one, your twin included, is going to take care of you as well as you are going to take care of you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and end it for today. I will say that on Thursday, I have a family member having surgery. So I might not be on next Sunday. I will, I guess, schedule a stream so you can, I guess, try to know ahead of time. But I will tell you, Tata, I definitely feel that we share a connection. I feel, quite frankly, that most likely we are in the same soul family. No problem. That's what I'm here for. Um, no disrespect to people who, do this for money. Hey, for some people, but I'm not on here doing this for money. I'm on here because I feel that I have a gift that it is literally my obligation to share with the collective. And I openly admit that I'm not going to be the right person for everybody. But as I've discovered today, there's absolutely no question in my mind why you frequently have been, a person who frequently watches my live videos, because of the fact that we, in some ways, are almost even mirrors of each other. But that doesn't surprise me because, again, I do feel that we most likely are in the same soul family. So I will let you go. We should get into contact. Yeah, I'm totally open to that. Are you in the U.S. or you said you're Canadian and Italian, I believe? So are you in the U.S. or are you in Canada? I am in the U.S. Canada. Well, it's a hop, skip, and a jump, right? But anywho, so I'm gonna put my email. I'm typing my email. Give me just 1 second. Teacher. Okay, so there is my email. Feel free to email me whenever I'm not doing these videos. Send me an email if you have any questions, if you need to talk or anything. I'm not some, I'm gonna charge you $15 a minute. No, like, I'm not charging you at all. Like, I'm here because and the reality is too, Tata, as I'm sure you've discovered, not everyone understands this twin flame journey, especially when you've been in separation for so long, or you've been back and forth so long with your twin. For people who don't have twin flames or haven't met theirs, they might be quick to say, just leave him or forget him, or, I wouldn't be dealing with that. It's not always the best thing to discuss your twin flame connection with people who don't understand the journey, because a lot of the 3D advice to relationships aren't applicable at all to what's going on for twin flames, and they may not even be in the best interest of twin flames. But anyways, I will let you go. Email me anytime. I see there's someone else watching. I don't see who you are, but you're also welcome to email me at any time if you'd like. And I will be around. I'll put up a stream notification. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm going to wash clothes and get some housework done because I've got a lot to do. So great to talk to you, and enjoy the rest of your day.